given what you lost in terms of on-ball defenders and Mamadi and Braxton, is Jay's shot blocking even more important for the defense this season?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought, Mamadi was such a good rim protector along with Jay at times last year. Mamadi's quickness where he could blow up a ball screen and, hedge out and get back was noticeable. So anytime you have rim protection, it's important. I thought Jay was really good today. They weren't elite at stretching and shooting today with their big. So Jay could kind of, at times really gap it up and zone and then come across and help, and his length bothered him. And then when he played one-on-one, he was good. And I thought the on-ball defense today was the best we've had. They were, obviously we're missing some guys, really good on-ball defender in Casey Morsell, but the ability I thought Reese really slid well, for a first year to come in. He's got good instincts. And then Kihei was locked in, and Trey's length. Reese is long, Trey is long. I thought that was significant. And again, we made a few adjustments just with our personnel that helped us, but I liked it. And then, Sam has continued. I think all those guys that are first years to our system, Trey, Reese, Sam, haven't played. I think they're at least the last couple games they've gone in the right direction, and it's helped our team defense.
It was hard to tell on TV exactly who was there and who wasn't. Obviously, Casey wasn't. What about your assistants today?
Yeah, Caden couldn't play today, and Cody, as you know, and then Casey, and then we did not have Orlando or Kyle Getter, but Coach Soderberg and Coach Williford were down on the baseline. They were contact traced before, but they're out of their quarantine or whatever. But they were there, so it was not a full staff. But again, Ronnie Weidman and Johnny Carpenter have done a great job getting us prepared. It's really been great. And then, to have now those guys, I'm just thankful because it's you need everyone. You need eyes, you need encouragement, and then it's on the bench, our players. So that's anyways, longer answer, but those are the guys that were not available today.
But you kind of touched on it with the defense there. What have you seen ever since y'all started ACC play since that Gonzaga game that's really kind of changed the momentum on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we haven't played an offensive team like Gonzaga. I mean, they're special as it gets this year. But I think, as we talked about, humble pie doesn't taste good, but it is a reality check that, hey, look, we gotta fight, and we gotta, figure out some adjustments to help our personnel. And just know that without that, it's going to be really difficult. So I think we've made the right sides. I think our energy and our ball pressure has been better, and just covering for each other more. We had some trouble on the offensive glass. I told Dave in the post-game radio, if you look at it, when our defense was set, they scored a lot in that stretch off of some of our careless turnovers. And then we didn't block out, whether they shot a kind of a air ball and they got offensive rebound. And then maybe at the end of the shot clock, they put in 3 or 4 hard shots. But otherwise, we really, when we were setting down, they didn't get a lot of easy stuff. And I thought that was our slowly but surely, I felt like our mindset and our will was we're going to be hard and hard to score against and tough-minded. So I think that all that combined has made us better. And again, without Casey and Caden today and Cody hadn't played for a bit, but those guys who know our system, we're doing it with some newer guys.
Coach Kihei and Reese played almost the entire game, only 1 turnover. What do you see from them on the offensive side of the ball?
I thought they were really good against Wake Forest. And again, I thought they were really good today. Today offensively, Reese, from a scoring standpoint, he didn't, well, I don't think, let me see his stats. He didn't score, did he? Except for the free throws. He had 4 free throws, but he still created. He had that beautiful pass to Jay in the second half, drove baseline and dropped it. And he has those instincts. And, as his game continues to improve and his shot gets more consistent, it's good. But guys that have feel, they can see stuff, they draw, they kick, they know how to play, and put pressure by penetration are important. I think Reese and Kihei have done a good job. And then Kihei, again, 6 of 8, in his ability to put pressure on the paint, sometimes score, sort of posting them up, and some drives are good. And we didn't shoot it particularly well from 3, but got some good looks. So I'm hoping that'll that'll come.
All right, next three we'll take from Doug Dowdy, Norm Wood, and Caroline Darney.
Yeah, Tony, if I remember correctly, you did not have one of your better games at BC last year.
Right.
What kind of motivation was that, and what did you take away from that last year?
Yeah, that's, it's funny, Doug, I said when I came in the locker room, I said, I'm going to give you guys a history lesson because you guys are young and you forget. But last year, I said they were without a key player or two, I can't recall. And I said, and we were not right. I mean, we didn't play well. I remember Casey was sick for us, and I can remember it was a tough setting. And I said, be ready. Every game is significant. And we're shorthanded. And I reminded them, those guys got after us. And so we talked about that. And I didn't think energy was a problem to start the game defensively. And we got off to a nice start. As I mentioned, our troubles came with some careless turnovers and then offensive rebounds they got on us. So we talked about that a lot. And I liked the mindset, and the bench, again, had a lot to do with that, with their energy. And of course, the guys on the floor.
Thank you.
Tony, you guys endured an 8-minute, 44-second scoring drought in the first half. You call a timeout. What'd you tell them then? I'm sure it probably wasn't terribly pleasant, but they certainly played with some resolve after that. And what was your take on the way they played the rest of the half after that?
Said, make some shots.
Good advice.
I said, you got to be aggressive. I said, we're standing. We got to move the ball. We tried to, you spin the wheel a little bit. Hey, let's look at this action. Let's look at that. And I said, screw it. I said, we're going to do what we started the game with. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to touch the paint. You're going to have to get the shots and stop letting the ball stick. And then, I think we hit a three. We got to play and had a good surge. But I could feel that, some of it was the turnovers for that 8-minute stretch and just some careless play. And guys were sort of holding the ball, forced a couple. And when we cleaned that up, then I thought it got back on track. But yeah, those are hard. That's why we said defense has got to hold you in there. You've heard me say that all the time. Offense can come and go, but your defense can't. And that the defense held us in there. And again, they were shorthanded too, so I want to acknowledge that.
You talked a little bit about your guys' on-ball defense, how you thought it was better tonight than pretty much any other time. Tabs and Heath, their two leading scorers coming in, are combined 2 of 19 today. Could you kind of sense their frustration with what you guys were doing and just how effective were you guys on them?
Yeah, I think, again, the length of on ball, I thought Reese really matched up and did a good job bothering, Heath, and I thought when Trey spread, Bugs some shots. So I think they didn't get many easy looks. The ones they hit were end of the shot clock or hard shots that they had to make some plays. So yeah, I think the perimeter defense was pretty sound today, and it needed to be because they can put pressure on you.
Thanks.
Tony, you're seeing Notre Dame, again, only 4 ACC games so far, rescheduled time. How does that help when you've only played this 4th ACC game, but you're seeing a team that you've already seen and recently in a match?
Yeah, no, that was I'm sorry, we got interviews going on near me if you're hearing that. Okay. Dave Kane's loud voice, we can't quiet him down. So no, I think it's a different year, unlike anything, and with cancellations, and I don't know if this is the way I think this is the way the schedule set itself up. So, but they we played well. It was a good recovery from the Gonzaga game. Leszewski was terrific. They had one of their young men got hurt at the end of the first half that really can score. They put pressure on you the way they stretch. They really shoot with their bigs, right? And Durham had a good game. So we're going to have to be sharp. And, obviously it's not tricking. It's just who can execute and play the best for the longest when you go against a team that you had a fairly close game with. And that's very capable.
All right, we'll take our last question for Coach from Brad Franklin.
Coach, just following up on Caden, you said he wasn't available. Was it an illness, an injury? What's he dealing with?
Yeah, it was an illness, not a COVID-related illness. But yeah, so he had missed, and we thought maybe he'd be able to rally and be good, but was not able to. So yeah, that left us pretty shorthanded. And yeah, that's where that is. Hopefully he'll recover and be okay soon.